Hey, what up? This is your boy, the Solo Traveler ORD. Thanks again for checking out another one of my videos. Of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and to hit that bell while you are here. And I greatly appreciate the support you guys have done with me and so forth. So I appreciate everything. But I'm back with another video. I know I've been missing in action for a little bit, but I am back. So I got some new news updates going on with Cuba. A little bit some oil business going on in Venezuela, as well as some Thailand information. So without any further ado, let's jump into this. Let's see exactly what is going on with Cuba. So it says here, U.S. lifts some Trump-era restrictions on Cuba, including limits on travel and remittance. So it says here, the Biden administration announced Monday it will reverse some Trump-era restrictions on Cuba, including limit on travel and remittance, and boost visa processing in Havana. The changes, the most significant in U.S.-Cuba policy since President Biden took office, followed a lengthy policy review. A senior U.S. official said that the Biden administration will continue to evaluate the matters of human rights, the treatment of political prisoners, and labor rights in Cuba, as well as empowering the Cuban people to determine their own future. The U.S. will allow charter and commercial flights to airports outside Havana. During the Trump administration, flights to Cuba were restricted to only Havana Airport. A senior administration official also said that the U.S. will reinstate education travel in groups under a general license, but that is not reinstating individual people-to-people education travel. So let's take a look at this video here that was released.
And the Biden administration is reversing some Trump-era policies toward Cuba. The White House announcing that it will expand flights to Cuba and resume a family reunification program. It also will lift the $1,000 limit on money sent from Cuban immigrants to family members back home. Not everybody's happy about this. One senator from Biden's own party saying he's, quote, dismayed by the move.
All right, so let's take a look at the next video that was released.
The Biden administration announcing this afternoon it's easing economic sanctions against Venezuela. Yesterday, the U.S. reversed some Trump-era restrictions on Cuba, including limits on travel and remittances. Digital reporter Carmen Cecina is here now. Carmen, let's start with Venezuela. What kinds of changes are coming there? What are we going to see?
The U.S. announced today that it is allowing Chevron, which is the last U.S. oil company in Venezuela, to negotiate with the state oil company of Venezuela about its future. That does not mean that it can export oil to the U.S. right now, and it does not mean it can drill in Venezuela. It just means that they can talk about their future and about their license in Venezuela. Now, administration officials have stressed that they did this because they want Maduro, the leader of Venezuela, to negotiate with the opposition. Those negotiations with the opposition stalled last October, and according to administration officials, it was the opposition that went to the administration and asked them to do this in order to get Maduro to more seriously negotiate with them.
So,
Allison?
Carmen, what will still be sanctioned in Venezuela?
In Venezuela, there are a number of people sanctioned, individuals as well as oil sanctions. Those remain in place. Allison?
Carmen, let's talk about Cuba. These are the biggest changes in U.S.-Cuba policy since Joe Biden became president. Walk us through the changes.
There have been a number of changes that were announced yesterday, actually. So starting now, charter flights and commercial flights will be allowed to go to all airports in Cuba. Up until recently, they were only allowed to go to Havana, the capital of Cuba. It's also reinstating the educational travel in groups, not individual ones. They are lifting restrictions on remittances, the money that family here can send to their relatives back home. It was capped at $1,000 per quarter, so now it's limitless. They're also increasing the amount of visas being processed at the embassy in Havana, and they are reinstating the Cuban family reunification parole program. So quite a few things, Allison.
Carmen, you're reporting that over the last few years, the U.S. hasn't processed 20,000 annual migrant visas it agreed to nearly 30 years ago. What is the government saying about that lag?
Well, in 2018, there were some mysterious health incidents that affected U.S. Embassy personnel in Havana. Those incidents became known as Havana syndrome. So since that time, since 2018, the amount of personnel at the embassy was downsized to a skeletal staff. So the amount of visas processed basically they weren't processing visas there. People had to go to Guyana to get their visas processed.
Wow.
It's very expensive for Cubans.
Sure.
So most Cubans were not getting their visas processed. So that's imagine since 2018, 20,000 visas per year were not processed. So that's a big backlog that they're going to get to now when they increase the staff at the embassy. Allison?
All right, Carmen, thanks so much for all of your reporting today.
So there you have it. That's what's going on with Cuba. This happened this Monday. Sorry, I was kind of late to give you guys this article of what's going on, but nonetheless, I've got you guys this information. And basically, at least the more you know, the better off you are as far as making your plans, as far as trying to go back to Cuba with these lift restrictions. So put a C below. Let me know if you guys actually are happy about this. If you're not happy about it, put an N down below. However, I'm happy about this so that I could go back instead of so that I could go back and get a direct flight, that is straight there, instead of have to go through different routes and different channels to go there. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm happy that they have lifted this. I've been waiting for this for about 2 years now, and I'm glad that this has happened. But let's shift gears to start talking about. Let's go ahead and focus on Thailand. So Thailand has released some additional information about about their COVID requirements and entry into their country. So that's the next step that we're going to jump into. Let's take a look to see exactly what they're talking about. So it says here, Thailand passed the end on June 1st. It says here that cancellation of Thailand Pass registration is expected to take place on June 1st, with tourists using their TM6 immigration form for vaccine declarations, says the Tourism and Sports Ministry. After the test and go scheme is scrapped from May 1st, the removal of Thailand Pass will create a more seamless travel experience and stimulate more travel to the country, said the Tourism and Sports Ministry. He said Public Health Ministry already agreed to terminating the Thailand Pass scheme. Eliminating Thailand Pass scheme means Thai embassies and consultants can reduce their workload as they work to help approve the required documentation. The Center of COVID-19 Situation Administration must approve this proposal as it meeting next month for the requirement to avoid. Tourists might be required to complete their vaccination records on the TM6 immigration form upon arrival, with immigration officers responsible for screening the form or vaccine passport, said Mr. Fuffett. However, the government has decided to step up screening measures by mandating boosters doses as the vaccine coverage of each country differs. So that's what's going on with Thailand. So it looks like they're looking to scrap that. Well, hope that they can avoid that. The TM6 documentation as far as verification that you have been vaccinated before you enter into their country. So there are some changes that are taking place globally. This whole global pandemic of COVID is starting to change as far as entry procedures to different countries, which is a good thing for all of us. Because for myself, I'm looking to go to Thailand really soon. I can't wait. I really wanted to go there back in 2019. That whole thing didn't happen due to the pandemic, and I've just been waiting out. So I can't wait to go out there myself and to enjoy myself and see what Thailand has to offer. So leave a T below. Let me know if you guys are happy about this whole news about Thailand, and let me know if you guys are looking to go back to Thailand really soon. Well, this is your boy, the Solo Traveler ORD. Thanks again for checking out this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I am out.